Hello and welcome back to Hobbies and Histories. Today we will be covering the Turkish War of Independence. This war formed the modern Turkish government and marked the death of the centuries-old Ottoman Empire. In World War I, the Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers shortly after the war broke out. After years of fighting, the Ottoman Empire lost the war along with the rest of the Central Powers. They signed the Armistice of Maduros on October 30th, 1918, just 12 days before Germany signed their armistice. The Allies occupied Constantinople on November 13th to enforce the armistice. The Greeks and French then occupied several areas in eastern Thrace. In December, British and French forces took control of several areas in southern Turkey. In early 1919, at the Paris Peace Conference, the Ottoman Empire was to be carved up. The Greeks were going to get eastern Thrace and Turkish land bordering the Aegean Sea. Italy would take control of southern Anatolia, and France was to have control over Syria, Lebanon, and some of southern Anatolia. On the 15th of May, 1919, Greek forces landed at Smyrna. A Turkish man named Hasan Tarshin fired the first bullet against the Greeks. At Smyrna, the Colonel Thethi Bey was executed by the Greeks, along with 300 to 400 civilians, as well as several unarmed Turkish soldiers. The Greeks then secured the areas around Smyrna. The Turkish national movement, founded and led by Mustafa Kemal Pasha, later known as Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, was created to replace the defunct Ottoman government. Many national movement officials tried to deny the Allied demands by organizing the Sentinel Association to organize resistance in the occupied territories. The national movement began regrouping their military forces and smuggling munition out of Allied-controlled Constantinople. The national movement set up base in central Anatolia as to avoid Greek soldiers and British warships. The 20th and 15th Corps were organized in Anarka and Izerum, respectively. On the 16th of May, Mustafa Kemal left Constantinople for Samsun. On the 19th, he landed in Samsun and began organizing mass meetings. On June the 23rd, the British caught wind of the Turkish national movement. The British mostly downplayed reports of Mustafa Kemal's activities. However, in Samsun, the British garrison was replaced by a brigade of Indian Gurkhas. The Sultan asked Kemal to return to Constantinople. However, Kemal refused and took a leave of absence as to continue organizing the national movement. From September 4th to the 11th, the Sivas Congress was held, where the Turkish National Movement's representative committee was founded. Kemal met with the Ottoman Grand Vizier shortly after. Al-Rizi Pasha was the current Grand Vizier at the time. In his meetings, Kemal wanted the representative committee to become the official parliament, as the Ottoman Parliament was corrupt. Under orders of the British, the vizier rejected any proposal from the, quote, illegitimate political movement. Later that year, elections in the Ottoman Parliament were held to boost the legitimacy of the Sultan's government. However, Greek members of Parliament continuously blocked all progress, and Greek citizens under the Sultan's rule boycotted the elections. But in the end, the elections were held. However, this act did not legitimize the Sultan's government as they had hoped, as only the laws the British found satisfactory were passed. On the 12th of July, the Ottoman Parliament held a meeting. In this meeting, a telegram from Mustafa Kemal was shown, which declared the Turkish national movement the official government of Turkey, and that the capital was in Anarka, and the representative committee was the new legitimate legislative branch. On February the 12th, the National Pact was published. This pact embraced the ideas of restoring Turkey by ousting the Allied forces and was extremely nationalistic. The British, obviously, were not happy with this, and they planned an invasion to dismantle the Turkish national movement and to essentially make Turkey a puppet state. On the 15th of March, 1920, the British struck key buildings and imprisoned key leaders of the national movement. Like at the Military Music Academy, over 10 students were killed for putting up resistance. Military leaders such as Fezi Kakmak were arrested. However, Mustafa Kemal was expecting this move and used it as an opportunity to organize mass protest, saying, quote, "Today the Turkish nation called us to defend its capacity for civilization, its right to life and independence, its entire future," unquote. The Sultan had become a puppet of the British, and the Turkish national movement would not succumb. Fighting would break out soon after, which we will cover next time on Hobbies and Histories.